another video, so it looked like someone has told Caitlin Clark she has a huge target on her back.
Did Sabrina Ionescu just put Caitlin Clark on notice? The star guard didn't hold back, hinting that Clark is in for a tough ride next season. But why is a veteran weighing in on a rookie's future? And why now? There could be more to this than it seems. Before we dive in, let's rewind to Clark's last season. Women's basketball is no walk in the park. And for Clark, every matchup pushed her to the limit, physically and mentally. The road to greatness is never easy, and the pressure is only getting stronger.
WNBA and take the most brutal punishment of all the damn athletes in the league. People made it their business to try to injure Caitlin Clark, hurt Caitlin Clark, even it felt like the referees was in on it at times.
Can you believe the relentless physicality Caitlin Clark endured last season? Game after game, she was on the receiving end of some of the toughest, most aggressive defense we've seen. So brutal that just watching it made you wince. It wasn't just about stopping her from scoring. At times, it felt like defenders were making it their mission to wear her down, physically and mentally. Whether it was hard fouls, extra contact after the whistle, or defenders playing her tighter than anyone else on the court, Clark had to fight through constant obstacles just to stay in the game. Yet, despite all of it, she never backed down.
To get, because there was also a stat that came out a few weeks ago that said Caitlin Clark received 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season, and 80% of those flagrant fouls were committed by the Chicago Sky against Caitlin Clark.
Picture this. Every time you step onto the court, you're not just facing defenders trying to stop you, you're facing players determined to knock you down. That was Caitlin Clark's reality all season long. She wasn't just another rookie. She became the focal point of aggressive, relentless defense, drawing 17% of all flagrant fouls in the league. Game after game, she absorbed hit after hit, enduring a level of physicality designed to wear her down. For most players, that kind of pressure could be overwhelming, testing not just their endurance, but their mental toughness. But for Clark, it became just another challenge to overcome.
And all of a sudden, we're pretty close. This has been as close as it's been. 44-2.
Was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
But here's the real shocker. Clark didn't just endure the punishment. She thrived because of it. Every hit, every shove, every hard foul only fueled her determination. No matter how many times she was knocked down, she rose stronger, proving she could handle the pressure and still take over the game. Instead of breaking her, the relentless physicality sharpened her skills, toughened her mindset, and pushed her to an even higher level. The more they tried to wear her down, the more unstoppable she became.
Yeah. But the stuff toward her is petty and jealous. And the thing I love about her, she never says a word.
You'd think the refs would step in to protect her, right? Well, not quite. Time and time again, it seemed like the officials overlooked the excessive contact Clark faced. Hard fouls went uncalled, blatant shoves were ignored, and the physicality against her only intensified. At times, it felt like she wasn't just up against tough defenders. She was up against a system that refused to shield her from the relentless hits. Yet, despite the lack of calls, Clark never backed down. Instead of complaining, she adjusted, proving she could take whatever was thrown her way and still dominate.
Called that. So there have been cheap shots, there have been hard fouls, there have been other plays that haven't even been called flagrant fouls. But when you have the face of your league getting nearly 20% of all flagrant fouls called against her, that is an issue. And that's not just an issue that the players have to work out. That is from top down. That goes to the commissioner level. Like, that is the level that needs to control these kinds of things.
But here's the thing. They couldn't break her. No matter how many times she got hit, shoved, or knocked to the floor, Clark got right back up and went to work. She kept drilling deep threes, threading pinpoint passes, and leading her team with the same fire and confidence every single game. That's not just skill, that's resilience. The kind of unshakable mental toughness that separates the good players from the legends.
So it said Sabrina Ionescu claims that Caitlin Clark has a target on her back thanks to her huge influence on the WNBA and women's basketball in general.
6 now. Let's break down Sabrina Ionescu's bold statement about Caitlin Clark, because it's making waves across the basketball world. As a veteran who's been in Clark's shoes, Ionescu didn't just offer casual commentary. She made it clear that Clark is stepping into a whole new level of scrutiny. Her words weren't just about the challenges ahead. They were a glimpse into the kind of pressure Clark is about to face, and why it's unlike anything she's experienced before. With so much attention surrounding Clark's transition to the pros, Ionescu's insight carries serious weight, and her message is something every basketball fan should pay attention to.
Ionescu was quick to praise Caitlin Clark's attributes, but she did not admit that the 23-year-old fame and talent is scrutinizing at a much higher level than others. In an interview with you,
Sabrina Ionescu didn't sugarcoat it. She made it clear that Caitlin Clark will be under an intense spotlight next season. At first glance, that might seem like the typical pressure any rising star faces, but there's more to it. Here's the twist. Ionescu isn't trying to intimidate Clark. In fact, she's been one of her biggest advocates. It's almost as if she's passing the torch while giving Clark a reality check about the immense expectations ahead. Ionescu knows firsthand what it's like to carry the weight of a league on your shoulders. And her message isn't just advice. It's a glimpse into the challenges Clark is about to face.
I've always, supported her through her college career and just wanted to be someone that she can come to and ask any questions entering the league. And, obviously she has a target on her back, just like a lot of us do, in terms of understanding what it is you're trying to accomplish in the league.
But what we're seeing, but not generalizing, not by every WNBA player, but by some, I believe Kennedy Carter in that specific incident, is envy. Because post-game, when you go to the presser and you don't want to answer questions about Caitlin Clark, why? You answer questions about other individuals, but you don't want to answer questions about Caitlin Clark. I believe what we are seeing is envy. Now, it's a human response. When you were a kid, if somebody had new Jordans that you did not have, you wanted them. Envy is a natural human response. I would be shocked if we weren't seeing envy, but I will not gaslight the viewers, the fans, and you watching by trying to act like individuals are not envious of Caitlin Clark.
Here's the thing. Ionescu isn't just making predictions. She's speaking from experience. When she stepped into the league, all eyes were on her. The pressure was immense, the expectations were towering, and every opponent was eager to prove themselves against the highly touted rookie. She's been in Clark's position, felt the weight of the spotlight, and battled through the same level of scrutiny. Now, as she watches Clark step onto that same stage, she knows exactly how tough the road ahead will be. It's not just about talent. It's about endurance, resilience, and the ability to thrive under constant pressure.
What Caitlin's been able to do in the college game, continuing to push it forward. She's selling out every arena she's going to, and obviously the WNBA is excited to bring her in market wherever she's going to end up, and continuing to push the game. I think the more players that we continue to have, the better it is that we're going to be able to enter different marketplaces and have different fan bases and continuing to break records. And so excited to see her finish out her senior year and figure out what she's going to do, whether she's going to stay or go. But regardless of what she's doing, she's changing the game of basketball.
Ionescu isn't just making a bold statement. She's giving Clark a glimpse of what's coming. Having walked this path herself, she understands the pressure, the expectations, and the relentless competition that comes with being a star in the pros. Clark has already faced tough opponents, but Ionescu knows the WNBA is a different beast. Faster, stronger, and more unforgiving. This isn't just a friendly warning, it's mentorship from someone who's been through the fire. Her message is clear. The road ahead won't get easier. It's only going to get tougher.
So the Indiana Fever have got their enforcer. They have got their enforcer for Caitlin Clark. And I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to Caitlin Clark and their enforcer, last year everyone was talking about them needing an enforcer, and the closest thing they had was Erica Wheeler. That was the closest thing they had for someone to defend Caitlin Clark, was Erica freaking Wheeler. Maybe Tammy, but Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley. When it comes to DeWanna Bonner's tough. You're not going to mess with DeWanna Bonner, but I wouldn't call her an enforcer. Natasha Howard, the same. I wouldn't call her an enforcer, but you don't mess with her. Sophie Cunningham, on the other hand, yeah. Sophie Cunningham is literally the, for lack of a better word, the biggest shithouse in the WNBA.
Ionescu pointed out that Clark isn't just dealing with the usual rookie struggles. She's stepping into the league with superstar expectations. The endorsements, the media frenzy, the massive fan base. It all puts a target on her back. Every player will want to test themselves against her. But Ionescu's words weren't a warning meant to intimidate. She's genuinely excited about Clark's impact, acknowledging the challenges but also celebrating what she brings. As Ionescu put it, "It'll be tough, but you're going to make our league better."
Stays here with Indiana. Clark, a deep one. You bet! A Brooklyn logo bomb from Caitlin Clark.
Efficient, best performance in terms of shooting the back.
Now realizes it. Clark trying to take her defender, pulls up and hits from the mid-range. 20 points for Caitlin Clark.
A really good feel for when she should take a defender based on who it is, and that time going.
Clark's arrival is ushering in a new era for the WNBA. The Indiana Fever know exactly what's at stake, and they're making big moves to support her. By bringing in tough, experienced players like Sophie Cunningham and DeWanna Bonner, they're building a roster designed to compete at the highest level. Their message is clear. This isn't just about development. They're aiming for a championship.
3.4 million people watched the WNBA All-Star Game. That was a reported 300% increase, and that's via Women's Hoops Network from 2023.
12. This is exactly why the Indiana Fever's strategy makes perfect sense. They're surrounding Clark with tough, battle-tested players who can have her back. They've seen the physicality she's endured, and they're making sure she won't have to face it alone. Their message to the league? Not on our watch.
Back at the last 20 years, they've unfortunately been met with a stalemate, but enter 2024 and the Caitlin Clark effect. While there are other rookies who have brought eyes, notably Angel Reese, and many other current superstars who have shined a light on their talents, notably Asia Wilson, the league has without a doubt been elevated by the attention and spotlight brought in by the logo shooting guard from Indiana by way of Iowa. So if we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 games. So this is taking into consideration not only the Indiana Fever home games, but also when they are on the road. Their lowest attendance was around 6,000 people. And if you look at the rest of the league, everybody else is around 3,000 for their lowest. Their highest attendance is 2,366.
Fever aren't just protecting Clark. They're setting her up to dominate. They know she can handle the pressure, but now they want to see what she can do when she's free to play her game. She's already a game changer, making waves in the league before even stepping on a WNBA court. And if you needed proof of her star power, just look at her Super Bowl commercial. It wasn't just 3 times longer than most ads. It was a statement.
Sisters, black women, who are absolutely positively fantastic in helping to build the WNBA, did not receive the shine, the acclaim, the allure, the attention, the marketing, and everything else with it that they richly deserved. And there are very, very few people, but there are some out there who resent the fact that this young white girl came out there and did her thing. Rookie of the Year, 4th in the league for MVP voting, assist leader, one of the top leading scorers after the Olympic Games. She put on a show.
14 Clark's commercial wasn't just an ad. It was a statement, a message of resilience and defiance in women's sports. Shot after shot, she pushed forward, unfazed by doubt and criticism. She was telling the world, "I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm not backing down." And just like her commercial broke expectations, so does her game. Clark's style is pure electricity. She makes the impossible look effortless. But it's not just about the deep threes and highlight reel plays. It's her court vision, leadership, and ability to lift her entire team that truly set her apart.